All right, welcome everybody to the Next Step Show. This is Pavel Stepanov, the host of the Next Step Show, and I actually, what we're going to be talking today about taking your business hyper local. It's for those people who are working in their community, working in their sphere of influence, and working very locally. And we got an expert here. We got Johnny Mo. Johnny Mo is the person who's the man behind My Town. And Johnny, how are you doing, brother?
Man, I can't. I'm doing great. No complaints.
Come on, where's the enthusiasm?
No, man, just happy to be alive, bro. Every day is a blessing, and what we do with it is everything, But just waking up, being here, being on this second-rate system where I can't change my background, so I get a green screen. I'm excited. I'm
Second
excited.
rate system. Hey, but you know what? You gotta be heard on the podcast. It's actually, people not gonna pay attention to even what you're wearing. They're not gonna know
No,
what you're
my
wearing.
mother told me from a young age, son, you have a face for radio.
There we go. There we go. So, Johnny, how you? Looks like I, I've known you for a good couple of years, and you used to be a team leader at some real estate companies, and you are a real estate broker, my understanding. And you were also a coach for real estate agents, and now
Mhm.
you have a company that's called My Town. Is that right?
Yeah, explore my town. Yep,
Yeah, explore
interject.
my town.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of going hyper local, this is what and the actual term hyper local, that's what I took when you told me that term hyper
Yeah.
local. That's why I wanted to bring you up on here and discuss what does it mean to go hyper local for your business. So
Yeah. So I was just talking to one of my partners about omnipresent, and this is called macro, right? And
mhm.
then micro, right? You got your macro and then your micro.
Yeah,
Macro is big, micro is small. So, most agents are putting out this macro message. And hey, I'm great. Hey, I'm
all
with
right.
ABC Real Estate. Hey, I sold more houses. Hey, we have the best market share, right?
Billboards. Yeah, yeah.
That's it. Big bid boards, ads that they don't really part of the problem is they don't understand who their avatar is. They don't have marketing strategies and things like that. Small percentage does. And when you look at that small percentage of the top producers,
hmm
there's direct correlation between it. But then micro, that's your community, right? My first broker called me a real estate prostitute because I had properties listed or sold throughout the state. And I'm like, man, I was selling meat for $50. I'll go make 4 or 5 grand driving an hour, you know?
Some
Hour on the way back in those
turning some
days,
real turning some real estate tricks, man.
right? And so micro is bringing it down to that community level, turning you into, some would call you the digital mayor. I call it a community influencer. But really, you got your macro, your omnipresent, bringing it down into the micro level. Okay.
Mhm.
And that's where you are able to connect with the people on a personal level. You got them. It's almost like digital marketing. You're segmenting, right, based upon an
Yeah,
action.
yeah.
So it's the same thing. Now you got them here. You're going to have a different language that you're talking with them. You're going to have different things that you're going to do with them. You're going to show them that, hey, I am from here too. I walk the same streets as you on the same
Yeah,
sidewalks. Um, let's connect. And this whole business life is about building relationships. And Zig Ziglar said
it
it
is
best: if you
exactly.
help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want, or the universe will give you what you want. Right? Paraphrased, of course.
So what about so this is actually pretty good like for any business that let's say a coffee shop or let's say somebody who's a computer repair guy. I mean, they'll be working on a micro in their local community where obviously they can serve the customers that are around them. That's like within a 5 mile radius
Mhm.
pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So the natural question comes up, all those entrepreneurs, they all talking about all those Instagram entrepreneurs, flexing and talking about scaling.
Mhm.
What the hell is scaling? How do you scale it?
That's a good question. And I tell you what, I've spent my entire life breaking norms. Okay. So when there's a great Fred Flintstone or the Flintstones cartoon where Fred had some extra money and he was at a circus and he was thinking about buying the circus. And every time they would walk to a ride, all the crowd would rush over there and they would think, wow, this place is great. It's always busy. Right. But they would just they were
Mhm.
just the crowd was, going everywhere, and they were following the crowd or whatever. Um, and our followers important. Man, I tell you what, I'm building a national company. I got 786 or something followers on Instagram. Would it be better? I don't know, man. I'm telling you what, though, I'm doing perfectly a-okay with my 700 and some odd people, right? I don't have thousands and tens of thousands of followers. It's what's important, the
Mhm.
quality of the follower. Okay?
Exactly.
Um,
That's another thing. Yeah, and I heard Instagram's gonna be removing likes pretty soon, and all those ego scratching likes are gonna be gone.
good,
So how do you?
good.
So, but what's the actual mechanics in your opinion for going hyper local, for actually serving your community? Let's say from the perspective of real estate agents, somebody who just got their
Yeah.
license, and actually a couple segments ago, I was talking about that the COVID situation kind of leveled the playing field for newer agents and experienced agents. They all have equal opportunities right now. It's just basically who's going to grab those
Mhm.
opportunities. So this is, COVID was kind of like, in an essence, blessing for it in that regard. But what are the usual mechanics of going for doing hyper local for your business?
So you got to do. I want to skip right over postcards. I'm going to skip right over all of that stuff, right? All the traditional stuff that most people are inculcated with when they get into the business from their antiquated brokers or firms saying, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. You're right. You do got to do that. But if you really want to have massive growth, you got to be different. You just have to be different. You have to do what other people are unwilling to do and probably what you might be unwilling to do too. You know it? That
So be creative, basically.
be creative, but you do that with oh, it's not here, with a phone, man. Right? You can go make a video. You can go make a video at the coffee shop you mentioned. You can go make a video at the sub shop, at the sandwich shop, at the pizza shop. And guess what? They're gonna freaking love you. This is the core of my town. This is what we do. Our blueprint is you make a minimum in average market. Seattle, you would want to do 6, 8 videos, right? It's a market,
Hmm.
something like
Hmm.
that. If you're in Tempe,
Yeah.
you want to do 4, 5, 6, right? You're in Saginaw, you can probably get away with 2 a month. And those two would be, one restaurant, one business. Make a list, sit down right now, come out with 6 businesses and 6 restaurants that you like, that you know people that you frequent that you think is really cool. You got 6 months worth.
So
You go,
So the idea is basically for the agent to go to this place's restaurants and do a video and talk to the owners and show what they're all about. Basically, expose the local scene, so to say, to the world, pretty much,
yeah.
right? Like anybody wants to move, let's say, to Bellevue, Washington, and somebody wants to look up what Bellevue, Washington is all about. I mean, come on, nobody wants to move to Seattle right now, so they're gonna be going to the Bellevue, Washington.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but they can just go and see, okay,
I'd probably be
what's open,
Boise,
and
Washington.
there we go. Yeah, but somebody wants to go and check it out, so that's how they found out who you are, and I'm sure if the content is going to be interesting enough, people are going to be signing up,
Yeah.
not because they have specific need for your services, but they just love your content because it's engaging, it's interesting, it's educational, or just entertaining. So you got to be one of those,
You
right?
do. And, if you're an introvert, if you don't have relationships, if you don't have anything, let me just cut to the chase, Pavel. You are a business owner. I'm a
Hmm.
business owner. We see this out in the industry. Not a lot of people running their businesses like businesses. They're running it they're
No, they
running
don't.
it like they're salespeople. So the
Yep.
salespeople don't get what I'm talking about, but the business owners do. I'm not talking to the salespeople. See, now I'm going to go micro. I have already cut out a whole bunch of people that aren't my audience because they're not going to understand what I'm saying and they don't want to learn. Okay, I see it. I got a 58-year-old
And
client
and
who will out
and,
hustle.
and again, not a lot of them actually wired to learn that, and that's okay.
I got a 58-year-old broker who will out hustle anybody I know. Right, the guy's ridiculous. Got so much energy. He's out there doing it, killing it, and great guy. But it's all about now thinking like a business owner. It's not about selling the product. That's what the salesperson does. I sell the product. And there comes a time where
Mhm.
you need to be the salesperson and sell the product or the service. And that's what the real estate agent's function is. But we're business owners, so our marketing strategy, our part of legacy, part of success is being able to give back, right? Is being able to contribute, being able to donate. This is from interviews from multimillionaires, successful people. The key to
Mhm.
success to me, I know I made it when I can contribute and make a difference in other people's lives. So when you're able to go in there as the business owner and help bring awareness to Gina's Bean, when you're able to go in there and bring awareness to Kahuna Grill and Cafe, right? What's
Yeah.
happening is something magical that people don't stop to think about is not only you helping them, done properly, their audience is seeing you too. And when their audience is
That's
seeing
correct.
you and you can start to retarget them and you can start to put them in different campaigns and segment them and they start following you and listening to you and sharing, liking, and engaging in your stuff, you start to build that tribe and then their friends see it and their friends see it. There's a lot of people that talk about, oh, your first level, you know 50 people, your second level, 50 people know 50 people. Well, let me tell you something. If you know 50 restaurants and businesses, they know 1,500, 2,500, 4,800, 10,000 people on their audience, on their following. So you can potentially tap into their audience again, usually a nice centralized audience. So by being selfless and going to help somebody else, you greatly are going to put a foundation to put you in place as being the most influential person, or at least in your industry in that area.
Yeah, and interesting concept actually, because I've read about it, and the rule of the universe, on if the universe given, you shall receive. Robert Kiyosaki wrote it in Rich Dad Poor Dad that people think, okay, I will get some and then I will give some, but if you actually just give, first, and then you'll just receive it. It's just like the rule of the universe. That's the way it works, and if you actually selflessly give, let's say, help a local business to get promoted, somebody, let's say, who's not that savvy in social media, but they really have a good product, you go and promote them, and promote them not without expectation of getting paid from the business owner. I think you'll receive 10 times more than you would actually think. That's just my thing, and I actually like doing it sometimes, just for the because I think good businesses should thrive, especially in this day and
Mhm.
age, where good small businesses went out of business. You know, giving extra shout out, giving extra boost is actually,
Absolutely huge. I
it
appreciate
just,
it.
it's
Some of our people
yeah,
were just
exactly.
during COVID were just sharing because they couldn't move about what places had takeout and what places were open and things like that. And it really made a difference. The Chamber of Commerce saw what they were doing. Now they're in cahoots with the Chamber of Commerce and doing all sorts of promotions and stuff like that. And what you're doing is, you know, agents, most salespeople type people, even LOs too, most of these people will look at this, what we do, as a B2C business, business to consumer, where we're the business and
Mhm.
working with the consumer. Michael Gerber asked me a question once, which is very profound and still manifests. And he asked me about Explore My Town, who's your consumer?
Yeah, who's your consumer?
And I said, well, the brokers that we work with and the people, well, that canned answer of who's paying me. He said, no,
Mhm.
your consumer is the general public, because if your product sucks, nobody's going to engage in it. And if nobody engages in it, there's no value in it. And then the broker's not paying you. And I'm expensive. I'm going to
Exactly.
tell you what,
That's actually
I'm expensive.
that's a
The
good
people I
point.
work with make money. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so if we're expensive, it better work real good. So
Well, if they see the value of what you're selling, sure. I mean, people will be paying you, but again, who's the end consumer? The end consumer is obviously, people who are consuming the content,
so
because you're still producing content that agents willing to pay for and
now
engage in
take that.
services,
We
right?
we can agree that the consumer is the general public. Does the general public really
Mhm.
give a shit? Sorry, I swore. Um,
That's all right. You're
crap
good.
that you Congratulations to my buyer, just closed on this one. That
Oh, they don't care
what
about
does
that.
that
That's more of a
do?
like agent ego
That's
boosting.
all it is. So when you can stop
Yeah.
that, but when you can say, "Hey, I just interviewed Gina's Bean in this place. They roast their own coffee. They make organic treats and this and that and the other thing. Y'all got to check this out. Come on, let's go take a look." And you do a 2-minute video on that place, man. She's gonna love you. The general public's gonna be like, "Oh, I love that place." You put it into a community group and tag them and stuff. Now all of a sudden, you're getting mass notoriety for free.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, here's a simple situation. I still have my real estate license, surprisingly, but I mean, I live in a community where we have our own WhatsApp chat group where we have 75 people there in that chat group. So it's the community of where mostly, the homes go from 1.5 million and up. Okay, and they're all tech crowd. They're all sitting at home, and usually the chat group has engagements about, it's on the WhatsApp app, and they have engagements as like, oh, did my package get delivered to somebody else? Is internet down again? So what I kind of did, I started the thread there about the local businesses. Since everybody's sitting home, where do you guys get your takeout from? You know, so people started to get engaging in that, and what I saw that people are when from that thread where they were sharing links where they get their takeout from or they get the delivery. Everybody was updating, and people say, "Oh, great stuff! I ordered it. Good. This works." So I'm not really like advertising myself as much of a real estate there, but I say, hey, by the way, if you actually need to, sell, it looks like we still have some homes for sale in the community. Is a brand new one. Anybody wants to, anybody wants your friend to bring over to live here, why don't you bring him here to this chat room and we'll chat with them. So I'm expecting some leads out of that, which I'll give them to my agents. But this is a good way of engaging somebody, like engaging a community. Because if let's say I go to that chat room and say, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Use me." Guess how soon I'm gonna be, kicked out of the chat group.
My
You know.
so I was mentored by and trained maybe 3 years ago by a cat by the name of Ryan Foland. And Ryan, I was at an investor camp where what you were doing, you were paired with mentors and you had sessions. One of them was also Kevin Harrington from the Shark Tank, Jesse Itzler, owner of the Atlanta Hawks. Wife is Sarah Blakely, who owns Spanx. Smart people, right? And one of the people was Ryan Foland. Ryan Foland came up with, and this has changed the way that I communicate. Definitely make presentations. But he said, you have to be able to identify. It's called the 313 method of communication. You need to be able to identify your target audience, what the problem is, and what your solution is into one sentence without telling them what you are, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get that down into 3 connective words. But anyways, you know, we let's use real estate. When somebody comes up to you and they're like, or you come up to them and say, "Hey, I'm John B. Realtor. How are you?" They already know preconceived notion what you are. Bear. This is what Ryan will say. Bear. He does a great TED
Yeah.
talk on it. Bear, bear. And they already know. But if you can go in there and say something different and get them to say, "Oh, well, how do you do that?" Well, so something I toy with is sometimes like, oh, I reduce the amount the home inventory that's the availability of home inventory in the greater Manchester area. Oh, how do you do? Well, what do you mean? How do you do that? Well, I'm hired to find the ideal client for their home so we can complete the purchase. Oh, what are you, like a real estate agent or something? Well, I'm different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Um, so, but if I had said I'm a realtor or I'm a real estate agent or I'm a real estate pro, whatever I want to say, they're going to instantly prejudge me and know. So I got to find a different way to get through that message.
So Johnny, let me ask you a different question though. It's on the topic of name badge. Some realtors like to wear name badges. What do you think of that? This is pretty much like I'm not telling anybody I'm an agent, but I got like a name badge with my brand of my company there with a brokerage brand, and to me that's kind of like the same or kind of like cheesy, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't wear one. I don't have one. But what do you think of that? And do agents actually get success by wearing a name badge to local businesses
I can give you a bunch
like
so
Starbucks?
I can give you a bunch of stories, but what I would that of success. But what I always had, like, when I always had clothing with my brokerage name on it. It's a tax write-off on my
Hmm.
clothes, right? Hmm.
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course.
but uh, do whatever you're comfortable doing. Do whatever you. I mean, some people like it, right? Make sure it's on your right shoulder though, so when you reach, they can see it. Whatever. Man, I got an
Yeah,
Explore My Town hat on every time I do a Zoom. I have one on, right? It's part of my uniform. So do whatever you are authentically comfortable doing, right? I don't wear them. I've received three in my life. They've always stayed in my drawer. But if you like to wear one, wear one. Yeah, just be authentic.
interesting,
Yeah. But I know people that
interesting.
have gotten
It's a
business
good.
from it. Me, I get
People got
caught
business
on a
from it.
door frame or something like that, rip off, a button goes down my pants, and I would dance, then I'd break my ankle, so that's why I don't wear them.
I know a guy who was going to local Starbucks while they were open and sitting there with a laptop, and the laptop there was a sticker. I'm a real estate agent. Come talk to me.
Mhm.
He was getting business from it.
Yeah.
So,
Imagine you
but
do
that's also a way of taking a
thing.
business hyper local. What's that?
Imagine you're able to do a show called uh, Coffee Shop Chit Chat,
Yeah, I'm sure that people would be joining him. Exactly. I mean, you can do that.
right?
You can do coffee top coffee. You can be creative as you want.
Yeah. See, what we do is
As
we don't just make video. We don't just produce video. We follow a system, just like that McDonald's cheeseburger. It tastes the same no matter where you
Mhm.
go. It's because the three pickles, the two squirts of ketchup, the one squirt of mustard, and the dash of friggin' onion. Right? We follow the
Yeah.
same thing. We got a system. We come in with the opening, 3 points, boom, 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 close it out every time. Right? So it makes it simple. You become comfortable with that particular system. Um, but we make shows. That's the best way I can say it is how we look at it is we make shows. We don't make videos. We make shows. And what show are you
We
comfortable?
make
What is
sure.
your interest? You know, let's
Yeah.
build a show around it. So,
Good point. Good point. Well, Johnny, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. We usually do this for 20 minutes. So thank you for your time, brother. I'm just gonna wrap it up. And guys, please click subscribe and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and listen to the podcast on anywhere you can listen to your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, anywhere you're listening to. Tune in and don't forget to look up Johnny Mo on Facebook and follow his Explore My Town.
yeah, if you want to learn more
Um,
about what we do, just go to getmytown.com. Every day.
yeah, mytown.com. Yeah.